Hey, John Hopson here, owner of JH Custom Works, but known online everywhere on John Builds It. So if you're not already, be sure to check me out. But I'm here at Pipeline this year. It's my first ever time, really seeing a lot of awesome stuff coming down the line. But I'm sitting here with Tyson and Ryan to talk more in depth about the new circular saw and the blade that came out with it.
First timer.
First time.
First timer. How was it?
It was a lot. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
First time in Milwaukee too?
yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
Just in Indiana, so not too far away, but
That's right. Did you drive or you fly up here?
I drove
You drove.
3.5, 4 hours.
Oh.
A lot
I
of
like
farm fields. Right?
Yes,
I like it.
one toll road for 4 hours straight through the cornfields. It was a long drive, but
Awesome.
Nice. Well, hey, I got to ask, what was your favorite part about yesterday?
that's tough. Honestly, you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Now
feel
I'm
like,
going to make me blush.
Yeah, I know.
like it's obvious that you guys listen to what we ask and suggest, and even on the new stuff we're saying, hey, did you think about this? And obviously there's always stuff coming down the line. So I was really impressed with that.
But good. That's our goal. I think, what Ryan and I do here, being product managers, our focus is really trying to deliver what guys like you want in a tool. And it doesn't matter if it's a circ saw or a blade or one of the other, dozens and dozens of products we introduced at Pipeline yesterday. But we're focused on the user. We're focused on trying to deliver what the user's asking for and going as fast as we possibly can to keep bringing more and more for you guys, because that's really what makes Milwaukee Tool go.
Yeah. What was your expectation? I know this is your first time. You said, like, what were you kind of expecting the event to be and all see before you came up here to Milwaukee?
Well, of course, I've followed previous years online through other guys, so I kind of had an idea on what it would be. But once you're here and actually trying to take everything in, so I kind of had a little expectation on what it would be like, and it met all that. So
Awesome.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I like it.
absolutely.
Well, hey, we're here to talk about a circ saw and a new blade that Ryan and I, both have spent some time working on, and we're really excited. So you got a chance to use both, see both, see a bunch of people kind of go through it yesterday. So what, I guess we'll talk circ saw first and then blade. But what were your thoughts of the products?
Big improvements, and I'm glad that someone finally came out with a thick curved blade. We talked yesterday on, it seemed like for a while everyone was trying to go as thin as possible, and which creates a lot of issues. That there's pros and cons, but now that the saws are getting crazy more powerful, it's able to accept that thicker blade. You're gonna get more accurate cuts, less wobble, and I'll let you talk more about the actual blade, but the venting you guys did on that is really unique and exciting. It's something I've never seen before. I can't wait to really test it out and try it, but it looks promising.
Awesome. What do you think about that, Tyson? Blade stole the show.
I like it. That's good. That's good, man. Like I said, Ryan and I are doing this all the time. And when we went out and started testing prototypes of the new saw, it was a light switch that went off, and we're like, man, we got to do something here. What's pretty awesome about Milwaukee Tools, I can come back to the office and reach out to Ryan and his team and say, guys, we found a problem. We're hearing from users that there's an issue here, and we might, we're pushing harder, we're doing more, we've got more power than ever before. Let's solve this thing together, and we can work together, go out, talk to users at the same time, and really create this, combination of solutions that work together in a way that, not every other brand can for a number of reasons, and we think it's a pretty big advantage that we have to be able to kind of bring that stuff together and bring them out together and try to give that entire package, back to the end user.
Right. And I think you saw yesterday, the whole new evolution of the way the power is growing in circ saws, and you're seeing a huge jump from even our current gen to the Gen 3 that you guys walked through yesterday. And from the accessory side, we, like Tyson said, just had that really foresight to work with you guys from the beginning, identified that problem. And it's a luxury here in Milwaukee that, we can, build and learn a lot from the evolution of the tool and getting that in the hands of the user. And, what we found is with a thick kerf blade is blades have stayed the same for, over a decade, right? Thin kerf optimized for cordless efficiency, right? Getting most cuts per charge. And now, you guys are pumping so much power in these things. Right. It's freaking like a Mustang, right? Yeah. It's awesome. that, we're seeing that trend come back to like thicker is better, and it gives you a little bit more of that stability in cut to give you like those straightest cuts and even longer life throughout that cutting experience. So, we did a lot of testing, a lot of seeding, right, with users like yourself and framers and remodelers, and understood that, this is going to be a great recommendation for, guys to get that best performance. But, the new tool as well, just so much improvement. And I know you got a chance as well to get your hands on with that too, and do some cuts yesterday.
Yeah, so tell me more about the feedback that you got and the changes that you wanted to make on this new generation.
Yeah, it's, being a product manager is pretty fun because you get to try to take all of this feedback and kind of ball it up, and we bring it back to a team of engineers and kind of literally ask the world of them. And this product was really fun because I think everybody knew we had some really cool opportunities to improve the product. And the feedback was pretty clear that we had some areas to really go attack. So obviously power. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about all of the new technology that's under the hood of this thing. Right, new industry first brushless motor technology that we're leveraging, the new REDLITHIUM forged battery packs, new electronics packages. All of that stuff kind of comes together to deliver a pretty big step change in performance. And I think first and foremost, we know when people use circ saws, time's money. People aren't trying to go slow; they're trying to work fast. And that became pretty clear. So we wanted to come back and kind of reset a standard of what performance looked like from a power standpoint. And I think what became even more clear from the user feedback was that it's not this like, I want this like super low end torque on my circ saw necessarily, but I want to be able to use that power to go fast and clean and kind of this hot knife through butter feeling from the saw. So we put a lot of time and focus on how do we get that power to deliver that experience. Short of that, the sidewinders, about a pound lighter. The rear handle saw that we're going to bring out early part of next year is about a pound and a half lighter than previous generations. So we put a lot of focus on kind of ergonomics and size and weight and reducing fatigue on users. If you're framing, you're carrying a saw around a lot. So no one wants to carry around any extra weight. So we really focused on those three big things, but the saw is new, top to bottom. Like if you put it up against what we've got in the marketplace today, it looks different. We've moved a lot of the touch points around. We've made them better in a lot of ways. We've had cool new features like the bevel detents and the depth setting detents so that you can quickly adjust the depth of the saw. So we try to come at it from all angles based on the feedback that we got, and I think the combination of all those things coming together is something we're pretty excited about, and it seems like the feedback is we did a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely. Like for me, the ergonomics are huge. I like to think I'm still young in the trades. I'm 30. There's a lot of young kids here this week, or this past couple days, so that was good to see. But at 30, I'd like to still think I'm young, and I got a long time to go, and my body's already feeling it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last week, it was 100 degrees the whole week. By the end of the day, you're trying to drink water and be healthy, but at the end of the day, your arm's cramping when you pick it up. So the ergonomics, and it's not like you guys released this new saw and it's a little bit smaller. It's drastically smaller. Like I got a pretty cool video of them sitting next side by side, and it's pretty big difference.
Yeah, and that's your feedback sounds exactly like what we hear time and time again from people on job sites. Like no one's looking to carry around any unnecessary weight.
Right.
And as much as someone wants a more powerful saw or a faster saw or one that gives them more runtime, like it's not a blank check for us to just make something bigger, heavier than it needs to be. So, our ability to keep kind of massaging design and bring that technology piece of it together to try to make a smaller, more compact, more powerful saw at the same time is pretty cool, to see it come together. And like we're talking about circ saws and circ saw blades, but I think there's probably a bunch of things in this room right now that we showed yesterday that kind of do the exact same thing and really try to deliver on all of that innovation and what the user needs are.
Right. Yeah, it was very obvious that you guys take our feedback and listen, but one thing I want to ask you is product development. How do you handle differing opinions? Like say the new shoe, for example, is a lot smaller than the old one. There might be some guys that prefer that older, bigger shoe. Not me personally. I like the new one. That's going to be awesome. But same with the safety. The safety is different this year. So Tell me about that. Is it like you take all this feedback? Is it more like, right, majority rules, we're going to...
No, that's a great question.
Yeah,
I'll let you go.
Or I was going to say, you could take it to all step one, but a lot of that, I mean, and I'm sure on the tool side as well, it starts with a lot of early iterations of different molds and prototypes that we, take to the field. And first, just like also, asking, what do you like or not like about a current design out there? Is there, a competitive solution that, is really looked on in the space that, we can learn from, or even like our past gens. And, we have a really awesome team here at Milwaukee that, stems from the product team all the way to, a huge line of engineering team members that, spend a lot of time learning about the products and helping us provide really good solutions for them. So we really get to build off like a lot of different types, and we see, what works by taking it out in the field, right? And, getting your guys' hands on it and getting that feedback. And that's what kind of helps us mold into, what that final design is going to be.
Yeah.
And it could take years, it could take months. And, there's a lot of different solutions that we look at to find that right one that, makes sense for that new product.
Yeah, I've been doing this for almost 13 years now,
Yeah.
and I've got to work on a lot of products. And I think you see kind of different things, some that are very cut and dry. Everybody is very much like, give me that.
Right.
I want that, and it's pretty consistent across the board. From time to time, you come to a place where like you get the 50-50 kind of split, and I think what's great for us and one of the things I'm like most proud of how we do things at Milwaukee is we're not afraid to iterate. We're not afraid to say, hey, okay, we got this feedback. Like, how could we meet the need of the user on both ends of this conversation? How do we kind of, I don't want to say split the difference, but how do we deliver something that we can, be confident both groups of people are gonna like. Now, I can't say that we're perfect, right? There's sometimes where you're a little bit between a rock and a hard place, and sometimes it's majority rules. Sometimes it's like, hey, we just based on where we think this is going to fit in the market, this seems like the right answer for us to go, and we make that decision. But I think we try to do a pretty good job of listening to everybody, distilling that feedback, bringing it down to kind of truly what are people asking for, and a lot of times it becomes clear which direction that we're supposed to go. Do we always get it right? Are we perfect? No way. No one is, right? We're not going to sit here and say that, but we're going to do our damnedest to ask the questions, get the feedback, show people prototypes, and try to continue to get it to the place where everybody's happy.
Turned out good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say we're like for the blade side. I know you mentioned that, like, also like, to those trade-offs and like things that we have to learn about the market. I mean, that was a really big like breaking away from the status quo of like where the currently market sits, right? Like where everyone's been kind of really focused on thin curved blades for that, battery efficiency for so long, and, understanding like, hey, like, how is this gonna, asking those questions early on, like, how is this gonna be right for the product? Like, packing it with the tool, like,
Yep.
Is that the right move? Like, this is going to be, in some cases, like a bigger change than, where the market sits right now. Like, how is it going to react? And, doing that research and, those kind of trade-off discussions,
Yeah.
like, hey, ultimately this thick curved blade, like with this tool, like, battery life is not the problem anymore. It's like that power and focusing on that. And that's where we think the market's going to continuously grow. And, I think this will be kind of like a really good benchmark to see, how the blade and the tool industry like reacts in the carpentry and framing space go forward as well.
When you said you were excited to see a thick kerf blade, like someone addressing the problems, like what does getting a thick kerf blade, getting straighter cuts, like how does that actually play out for you as someone working in the field using a circ saw, trying to do your job? Like where and when and why do you need that type of performance?
Well, we kind of talked a little bit about it yesterday, but like I mentioned, I do from frame to finish.
Yep.
So the Milwaukee miter saw, cordless miter saw, for example, I use a thick, full 1/8 inch kerf on that. Crown molding, it makes a difference. I don't want a little flimsy, thin kerf blade that is going to veer off or not make square cuts or whatever. So I use a full kerf blade on the cordless Milwaukee saw. It does great. No, it doesn't cut as fast, but I'm not trying to for that application. So, so the same things apply with the circular saw. You know what I mean? You're not always just ripping a piece of 7/16 OSB as fast as you can. there's going to be more intricate details that you're trying to do.
But what's some of the projects that you're currently working on where like that straight cut accuracy, whether it's like, I know you do a lot of shop work, but like
Right.
I know you mentioned yesterday too that you do some like off-site stuff that you don't always get the chance to film, but like, for those like accuracy, straightness of cuts, even to that lightweight ergonomic design, like, what are some of those projects that you're working on or have done that, you need that performance?
Yeah, like for example, the past 2 weeks, I've had my hands on the new 6.5-inch saw as well, and I've been building a pergola outside, so obviously that's got to look good, you know what I mean? And so stuff like, like I said, wide range of projects for me. So being able, if I want a thin curve to rip as fast as I can through some OSB, that's great, but thicker blade for different types of applications.
Well, the good news is that with this new saw, you don't even need to go to a thin kerf blade to
Right.
just rip your OSB as fast as
right.
possible.
Right.
We're going to let you do it with that thick kerf blade.
Did you get hands-on with the demo yesterday?
Yeah.
I know you
Yep.
stopped by my station,
Yep.
but were you able
You
to
guys
get
were
hands-on?
busy all day, so I had to wait my turn, but yep, I got some good cuts in with it.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Impressive. Like I was using the previous model first, and you can hear it trying to bog down and whatnot, but the new model, just as fast as you want to push it, it's not going to stop.
That's fantastic. I know you said you were using this new 6.5-inch saw. Shameless plug from the circular saw guy. I think at this point we have the best lineup of cordless circ saws, bar none. When you take the things we introduced yesterday, both the two M18 saws, the new M12 saw that we had on a different part of the pipeline event, the new 6.5. I would venture to say that we've got the best lineup of those saws in terms of power, performance, ergonomics, being lightweight, which is exciting because I think we continue to make pretty good inroads with the carpenter, the remodeler, the framer, the finish guy, and we know these are important tools for you guys and ones you use pretty regularly.
Yep. For me personally, the previous gen was so big that I might as well use the rear handle, or if I'm doing something else, I'm going to use the 6.5. I love the 6.5-inch saw, but with this new model, it's perfect. It's a lot smaller, more powerful. It's right where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Awesome. We haven't even talked about Forge yet.
No,
I mean, there's tons of new battery technology that we got to showcase. I mean, you kind of see behind us like the evolution of Forge coming out with the 12.0 this year, and then some of the new batteries that we launched a few months back.
Yeah, crazy new battery technology on M18 with the addition of two new Forge packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The XC80 and the high demand 12.0, which is what will ship in the kitted versions of the circ saws. But unbelievable advancements just in terms of pack construction, durability, how fast those packs can charge. You probably heard it a couple times yesterday. Just and as you're working, you're out in the sun. It's not like it doesn't get hot in Indiana
Right.
in the summer. You're baking out in the sun. Your tools get hot. Packs can go on chargers, come off way cooler. The tools are designed to be run cooler and dissipate heat better. Forge is going to be a massive step forward for us. And I don't know if you got to try any of the other Forge demos
Yep.
and stuff. What
Yep.
were your thoughts?
It's a big difference. They had the demo with the whole saw, starting with the 5 amp hour, then they did the 12 amp high output,
Yep.
and then the new 8 amp. So smaller, but same power as the big 12. And like the cooling, how the fan is blowing through the charger and through the battery, cooling that's awesome.
Did you see the Ingress demo? Did you see them
Yes,
drop the thing in the
yes,
water? How awesome
was
is that?
Crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Like we know protecting the internal portions of the pack against all the things that could get in when you're working on a job site is critical, and that's a pretty cool demo to see. Them be able to kind of drop that tablet in the water and literally nothing happens to it because it's coated with the same thing we coat the internals of the battery with. I think it's a really cool representation of how many steps we're taking to try to make sure that when you guys get caught outside in the rain and the weather and the elements and you're working in dirt and dust and all the debris that you guys have to deal with, that like we're taking steps to try to make sure your products are going to last longer, live longer.
Yeah, that coating is really unique, and I was here early for the tour on Wednesday and seeing some of the differences in the other competitors' batteries and the water damage and whatnot. It's like he mentioned, it's not about keeping water out, or keeping water out of the battery. It's about getting it out.
Yep. Once it gets in, how do you get it out? How
Right.
do you make sure it doesn't sit in there?
Right.
We're able to see like I know, take through a lot of the manufacturing and, prototyping equipment? Like, were you able to see all that? And was that, what were your first initial thoughts on, all the little bit of the behind the scenes there?
Well, I don't know how much I can talk about, but it was.
Did you think it was cool?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's all we were going for.
But again, just back to the employees, you can tell that all the guys back there are really passionate about what they do, and seeing behind the scenes. I always said I'd hate to work in an office, but their office cubicles were awesome.
Yeah, I think
Concrete block.
Well, we try not to be in the office, at least for me, try to
Yeah.
get out on site and work with you guys as much as possible. But.
Yeah, and I think Ryan and I get the opportunity to kind of, come to this event and show you guys the products, but I can tell you the team behind the scenes, doesn't matter if we're talking about the engineering team, people who work in finance or any of our other departments, they absolutely love getting to work at Milwaukee Tool, what we do here. They get just as excited about the products as anybody else does, and I think they, we get an opportunity in a few weeks to kind of walk them through the space, and they get a chance to kind of see all the things that we've done as well. And it's really fun to get to show you guys. It's really fun to get out with users, but it's also fun to give the teams who are working behind the scenes to deliver all of this stuff an opportunity to kind of see it come to life in the way that we present it to you guys, and it's a cool opportunity for us to get to do that with them.
Mm-hmm.
All that hard work over the past several years is
finally
complete on a project, and it's being released. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know, like, you work with your hands, you complete something you worked on, like, there's a pride in that. There's like you see it kind of come to fruition, and I think it's very much the same for the teams that get to work on all of our products, regardless of their tools or accessories or hand tools, you name it. I think the teams are very proud of the work that they do here.
Absolutely. And I got the chance to kind of go through your page, and I saw you post a lot of impressive stuff, especially in your shop, doing a lot of carpentry and do a lot of unique builds like tables and fine woodwork. And to your following, like, did they have anything that they were like looking for, reaching out to you with questions that you're kind of hoping to come to this event and get some feedback for them, or is there anything that they were hoping to kind of walk away with with some of your content?
I think it's the typical, we're all the same. We want it faster, more powerful, lighter weight.
Yeah.
We ask for a lot and we want it all, but so just those same general 3 things that we always try to focus on, and you guys improved a lot with this new model.
Has anybody reached out to you that follows you on your channel and said, "Hey, did you see something that they didn't show"?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, well, we'll wait for that to happen. I'm sure it's coming when you start posting content.
Great.
That's great.
It's awesome.
Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for coming. We appreciate you coming up here. I know it's you guys are busy. You got day jobs, and sometimes this is
Back
kind
to
of what
work
you
on
do.
Monday.
Yeah, do on the side. But we appreciate you coming up here for the first time, and hopefully you come on back.
Yeah.
I can tell you next year's pipeline will not be short of any awesome new products and cool new innovation as well from the entire Milwaukee team. So appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come up here and talking with us.
And maybe next year we'll get the accessory on the main stage, right?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sole show, maybe.
Yeah. maybe.
But no, appreciate all the time. Thanks for all the feedback, right? Like, even with
Yeah.
an event like this, like getting that feedback from you, and obviously, like, excited to see what your following says. When you're able to kind of show some of the content, what you saw the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But
Yep,
yeah,
I'm,
no, thanks for
looking
coming.
forward to getting it home and really putting it to work. So
We'll get you some stuff as fast as we can.
Yeah,
Can I take that one?
Yeah, no, sorry, we can't give you
I
that
got
one,
a
but soon.
ton of blades you can
But
take.
soon.
All right. So if you guys got anything else, I think we'll.
No, man,
Yeah.
it was
Put it
great.
out there.
Thanks. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
John.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it. Thank you, guys.